denies the allegations, arguing they're unsupported by any evidence. Our North America technology correspondent Lily Jamali was in court as the trial began.
We heard opening statements from both sides. An attorney for the state of California opened saying that Meta hid the truth about how addictive its platforms are. And she tried to show that by drawing contrast between what Meta executives have said about how safe Instagram and Facebook are in public and what internal documents show about what they knew about the actual user experience. Surveys showing, for example, a quarter of users as young as 13 experiencing bullying, seeing nudity and violence. Meta, by contrast, said it's been very transparent, that they've used their own research to make changes, built tools aimed at helping with things like time management on the platform. You could also see Meta's lawyer trying to sort of preemptively soften the impact of language in emails among Meta employees that jurors are going to see later in the trial.
And what would it mean if Meta were to lose this trial?
It would mean that they could face significant financial penalties. The Attorney General of California made clear at a news conference today that they will be asking for exactly that, significant payment. But the Attorneys General, I should say, are not being terribly forthright about what that number will be. I think they think it's a little early to get into numbers. Bigger picture, what they want, and they've been very clear about this, is that they want to see major changes to Meta's business model, an end or a curtailing of what states say are these addictive features that are all about addicting young users in their telling of things, whether that's infinite scroll or push notifications.
And are we likely to hear from Meta's chief executive, Mark Zuckerberg?
I pressed Attorney General Rob Bonta on that very question today. He wouldn't say. He said the answer to that is unknown, that he doesn't have a personal preference. Meta lawyers indicated during opening statements today that Mark Zuckerberg would testify. He's a well-known figure. If he takes the stand, I think we get into issues of, how he strikes jurors in terms of credibility and likability, but jurors have been asked to leave any preconceived opinions at the door.
And Lily, just tell us what we're expecting to unfold over the coming weeks with this trial.
We're expecting 6 weeks at least of testimony. We're going to hear from some company executives. We're almost certain of that. We've already started hearing from a Meta whistleblower, somebody who was at the company, left and came back because of what he was witnessing with Instagram in his own kids' lives, and said that he flagged a number of concerns to no avail. And we're talking about very high-level executives in the company were made aware, according to him. The jury, in this case, is going to try and render a verdict, but that verdict will be just advisory. Ultimately, the final outcome rests with the judge in this case.
Lily Jamali, the United States has slapped sanctions on the International Criminal Court's president and a senior trial lawyer at the ICC, who's part of a prosecution team that has sought an arrest warrant for Israel's Prime Minister. The new sanctions were unveiled by the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, who says the court is a threat to America's national sovereignty. The US is not a member of the court. Mr. Rubio published a statement on X, which has been voiced by one of our producers.
The Trump administration is sanctioning ICC President Tomoko Akane and senior trial lawyer Abdoulaye Say in our unwavering mission to protect Americans from this sham of a court. In honor of our Declaration of Independence, Americans will never be transported beyond seas to be tried for pretend offences.
The ICC was set up more than 20 years ago to investigate war crimes, genocide and crimes against humanity. Our State Department correspondent, Tom Bateman, told us what the US was hoping to achieve by imposing sanctions on it.
This move is the latest escalation by the Trump administration to, in the words of Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, dismantle the International Criminal Court, he says, brick by brick. We've already seen in this term the Trump administration dish out sanctions on at least 11 officials at the International Criminal Court. They include judges and prosecutors. And now you have these two top officials, the president and the senior trial lawyer, at the court. That has come alongside a political campaign, a diplomatic campaign by the US State Department under Mr. Rubio to try to pressure countries that belong to the court, there's more than 120 of those, to withdraw from it. And I think, what you see there is an attempt by the Trump administration to pull the rug out from this system of big multilateral international institutions to try to replace it with a system really where big power countries can become the kind of big beasts of international order and pull the shots.
That's what you said you had, Mom.
The Trump administration is too
Right?
Papa, I should have put them in the envelope and came and sent them. I guess I didn't have to have a free spend.
The
Machine not jammed.
administration's both but then it was the issuing of arrest warrants by the ICC against senior officials, including Gaza, that the Americans had fiercely opposed and rejected, and that's why we're continuing this escalating campaign against the court.
I was playing 1 cent over there too. No, I didn't know what I was doing. I never started with you. I don't have no money in there. Yeah, you better give it back. I don't have money in there. You better not go on it wrong. I don't have no money. How am I going to withdraw? No. Because if I don't have no money, I don't withdraw ever. Yeah, we do. I'm going to... out of my purse. I know you. Okay? And then I'm gonna be negative without me knowing. Obviously. You know me. Well, I don't have money for a cigarette. Where? In the house? Oh, okay. I'm out of panicking. I'm like, I try to tell you how why I'm somehow. God is beautiful.
Let's compare with the cat. This is what's in space.
Even the goddamn drink.